Good evening, pilgrim. After completing the Camino de Santiago, another pilgrimage was calling my name, the Way of Francis, or Via di Francesco. Unlike the Camino, which leads pilgrims to the tomb of St. James in Santiago de Compostela, the Way of Francis follows the footsteps of St. Francis of Assisi through the hills and valleys of central Italy. It is a journey through places that shaped his life, his faith, and his vision of simplicity, peace, and love for all creation. And there is no better place to begin than here, at Santa Maria degli Angeli. Inside this great basilica stands a very small chapel known as the Porziuncola. Though humble in appearance, this little chapel became the heart of Francis's vocation. It was here that Francis repaired a neglected church with his own hands. It became the first home of the early Franciscan brothers and the birthplace of the Franciscan movement. It was also here that Francis heard a gospel reading describing how Jesus sent his disciples out with nothing for the journey. Francis felt those words were meant for him personally, and from that moment he embraced a life of radical simplicity, trust, and poverty. It was here that a young woman named Claire left behind her wealthy family and came to Francis. He welcomed her at the Porziuncola, and that encounter marked the beginning of the Order of Poor Clares. Years later, when Francis sensed that his earthly journey was coming to an end, he asked to be brought back to this beloved chapel. In October of 1226, he died on the ground beside the Porziuncola, welcoming what he called Sister Death. According to an old Franciscan tradition, a swarm of bees appeared near the place of his passing, as though creation itself had come to honor the saint who loved every creature as a brother or sister. Francis once told his followers, "My brothers, I want you always to have a special reverence and love for this place." The Porziuncola is not important because it is grand or magnificent. It is important because it reminds us that God often does his greatest work in the smallest and most humble places. Pax et bonum, peace and all good.